Hey, good morning, my friends. Today we're doing some more fun STI stuff. So, down here, if the camera doesn't want to fall because this tripod is not nearly as trustworthy as my last one. BRZ, what are you doing? Don't do that. The BRZ's warming up and the idle was just like blue, blue, blue. So yesterday I shot some video. I just wasn't happy with any of it, so I scrapped it, deleted it all. It's gone forever. You're never gonna see it. But I lowered the BRZ just a little bit more. I also have a fun splitter from Infamous Aero that we're gonna be getting on the car here in a couple days. I tried to install it yesterday, but I just needed a little bit more clarification on how it actually mounts up. So in the next couple of days, we'll be getting that on the BRZ, as well as the OEM STI lip and some other goodies. But we have some welding we need to do on the STI. We have some harnesses we need to get in on the STI. We've got to get the fuel pressure sensor worked out on the STI. I got that wired in yesterday also, and for some reason, it just don't want to read. So we're picking up the coilovers for the STI this weekend. I'm getting a set of second-hand Fortune Auto 500s with, actually, I believe they're their 510s. I'm getting a second-hand set from my friend Tina, who's swapping her car over, or all of her suspension over, so we're gonna have coilovers for this. With this guy, we are going to get our argon refilled, so that way I can finish those intercooler brackets down there, as well as a couple other things on the car. I kind of need to cut one of the brackets off and make it longer and re-weld it on there, because when that intercooler was made, one of the brackets is actually longer than the other one, and it makes the whole intercooler sit kind of cocked and sideways. Out for delivery, I also have the relocation for the IAG AOS. I'm gonna move that over to the pitch stop mount to get it away from the downpipe a little bit more. The BRZ, why are you making weird noises? So we're probably gonna have to relocate our boost controller. We're just gonna clean things up in here also today. We may do we're gonna start it again today also once we can get fuel pressure verified, because for some reason that sensor just doesn't want to read. But I'm pretty happy with how this came out yesterday when I lowered it just a little bit more. Since it is on bags, I obviously want it to be as close to the ground as possible when aired out. So I dropped the front maybe another, I don't know, how much did I lower you? Like another inch or so? I'm pretty happy with it now. We tried to fit these stock tires onto our Koenigs. They just couldn't stretch them enough. These are 215s, and the wheels that we're putting on the car are 17x9, and they just couldn't stretch those ones big enough. Like 215, like they just couldn't get it. So let's get our argon tank loaded up in the BRZ. Let's go get it refilled. It's about $100 to refill this small little argon tank right here. Then we can start working on our STI. Will you just kind of slide down there? Yeah, you will. You're gonna roll? Probably. That's gonna suck. It's not terrible. Like $70 for a bottle refill, but hey, got a fresh bottle of gas now, which means we can do a little bit of welding. Welding. I like me some welding. I don't know why I said that. Let's go back to the house. Dope, now that we've got a new bottle, let me get this thing hooked up. I also got the IAG pitch stop bracket. Well, it got dropped off while we were out and about running errands, so that's kind of cool. It's just this fun little bracket. I don't know if this will work. It said it's for a 08 to 14, but it should work. I think it'll work. If not, I'm gonna make it work. So let me get that bottle hooked up real quick, and then we'll jump on getting this AOS moved. So because I've got coolant in the car, there's coolant in the AOS obviously, so I need to try to do this in a way where I'm not completely decimating all of that. I may undo all of the breather lines that go up to the AOS itself. I want to clean up all of those actual like heat sleeves too. They just look a little funky. The whole orientation of the AOS just looks a little weird in my opinion right now, so we're just going to get that corrected, get it fixed. I'm going to try to retain the boost controller where it's at. If I have to move it, so be it. We'll move it. I left enough slack in the wire so we can do so. So I'm gonna get that out of the way, and we'll just start moving stuff around. Now this pair and pitch stop brace guy is really in the way. Like really in the way. Let me just time lapse through this part. So my OCD kicked in. I started doing like 8 things at once here. As you can, I like pulled out all the wiring because I want to redo it all and make it all look good. I got the AOS put up on the pitch stop. This bracket's not designed for this chassis, and it definitely is not a direct fit up. If you want to do this, you definitely can. Just keep in mind, you're going to need a pretty long bolt, and on top of that, you're going to have to remove this like red spacer thing guy. I don't quite know what that's there for, but I took it out so that way my bolt could sit inset to the bracket. So if you like, I don't think you're gonna be able to see it really well, but like right down there, it worked. And then, you know what, it worked. That's all that matters, is I made it work. So now I'm getting some of the lines like redone. So I've got the drain tube back in, crankcase breather put back in, just cleaning things up a lot more so that way there's not tubes, wires, and everything like that going every which direction you can think of. I want this engine bay to look immaculate, and I mean immaculate. And by doing this, we're making it look even better. Next up, I got to shorten the coolant line, so I've got a couple of these guys blocking off coolant flow, so that way as I pop these lines off, they're not going to spray coolant everywhere and make an absolute mess of everything in here, because I've already got enough coolant spilt in here from when our guy exploded. Like, that's some pretty grimy coolant down there that I got to clean up still. But let me keep going on this. After I get the AOS all done and set up, I'll show you guys how everything's kind of routed and ran and whatnot. Because I'm digging this. I like this a lot more than having it over there. Plus, it gives me an opportunity to clean up everything on the firewall. Like, it already looks a lot cleaner back there. Don't look over there. I still got to clean all that up. But that side's already looking a lot cleaner. Remember when I said I was tearing apart blue to make things better? It's already getting way better. So over here, I moved the boost controller as I told you guys, because the AOS is right there right now. And I used the old AOS bracket, and it's literally perfect. Like, I don't even know how to make that any more perfect. It's away from, well, I mean, it's kind of close to the downpipe, but it's far enough away from the downpipe where it's not going to overheat the sensor. Also, or the solenoid, my bad. Also got all the wiring cleaned up. I need to get a bigger P-clip to be able to P-clip that guy up into the old AC block right there. But all the wiring over here, everything's cleaned up on this side now, which makes me a lot happier because now there's not crap going absolutely everywhere. Now I got to tackle this side, and this side's going to be a lot more difficult to clean up just because there's so much more stuff over here. The starter, the water lines, clutch line, all of that crap. So I'm going to do my best to clean this area up, but before I do that, I'm gonna go make a sandwich. And if you're curious on my sandwich preferences, it's gonna be salami, pepper jack cheese, some ranch oregano, and a little bit of lettuce. Let me go eat lunch real quick. If you're curious, my sandwich and Cheez-Its were delicious. Now let's get to cleaning up this some more. Turning me on. So I can't really clean it up past this extent, but I'm a lot happier with this than how it looked before. This whole area over here looks way better. Having the AOS in the middle, I think, does make the engine bay look a lot better as well. This area I've cleaned up as much as possible. I'm a little bit annoyed because the ethanol sensor connector just depinned itself. I just bought a new one. I would just repin it, but I don't have the actual pins to be able to do that, so ordered a new one. I'm gonna try to clean up this area right here a little bit more, clean up this, just make it all look a little bit better. And then after that, I think that's about the extent of this. Then I'm gonna get that fuel pressure sensor temporarily plugged into the fuel system. So that way I can try to diagnose why the sensor itself isn't actually reading fuel pressure. It could be a bad sensor. I'm not 110% sure, but we'll figure it out. So let me focus on this area now, and then we can jump to more fun stuff aside from just cleaning up this dirty, gross looking engine bay. So pretty happy with this whole area here. I got all of this cleaned up nicely. I got all those exposed wires sheathed up. They all look good. All the wiring over here is cleaned up about to the extent that I can get it. A lot happier with the way this engine bay is looking now that the AOS has moved and that whole corner back there is cleaned up. Now I want to jump on welding and try to get the brackets done on this intercooler. But before I do that, I'm going to try getting a couple practice welds in first. This is 75-25, so it's 75% argon, 25% CO2 is all they had for the next like 2 weeks till they get their next delivery in. So it would work fine for MIG welding steel. I don't know how well it's going to work for TIG welding aluminum. If I can't get any like decent welds on this stuff, I'm not even going to try to weld the intercooler. So that's why I want to do a couple practice welds first. So let me set this up and see what I can do. See what I can make happen here. Another bottle of gas. What we are going to do is throw this hood scoop delete plate back on because we're not going to put a top mounted we're not going to do a top mounted oil cooler obviously anymore. We're going to move it to the fender. So let's toss this guy back on. And if these nut certs can go back on, one of them over each hole. Bada bing, bada boom. Slide our plate back in. It's always a pain in the ass. It wasn't too much of a pain in the ass. Kind of just went right in. Well, that was the easiest thing in the world. I should really clean up this top of the hood right here too, where it's all cut up. Actually, I think I'm gonna do that real quick also, just to get that done with, because that's been something I've been meaning to do, like cut off all these sharp edges and make them nice and round. So let me clean this up also. Fun update, so that's fixed. That's how the hood closes. A lot of people ask me how the hood closes. All I did is go through here, deburr it, and then just hit it with some like touch-up paint to clean it up. New problem, power steering line right there. I was like, wow, it's looking real shiny. I touched it. Power steering fluid is now seeping through this line, so looks like I gotta find a new type of line to use on that. That's gonna suck. That's really gonna suck. I gotta get a lot of stuff out of the way and drain all the power steering fluid to fix that problem. Shit. If anybody knows any rubber hose that's rated for power steering fluid, let me know, because this hydraulic fluid is like seeping through. Dude, it's kind of gross. I should probably address that sooner than later. I will look tonight to see what I can find for that. So now that thing, it's just like fixing all the things. We're just fixing all the things that we did wrong the first time and all the stuff we got to go back through and do. Also, because I don't know, it's been in my mind. I don't even know if I've touched on it. The new intake manifold, I'm going to powder coat it a textured black. Same with the big charge pipe. So all the chrome in here is going to be disappearing here soon. That's temporary. Now let's jump in here. Let's just get the harnesses done with. I've been putting the harnesses off long enough. They're sitting in the trunk right now, and I just need to get them on the car. So I'm going to push old Blue up and out of the garage a little bit more, past my toolbox, so that way I can open this door all the way and this one a little bit more to be able to get all these harnesses done. So let's just get all that done with. 1, 2, 3, push! I am Hulk. Okay, I think that's good. Oh, a little bit more, why not? That's probably good right there. But I kind of gave up on the harnesses for now. I just couldn't get them in a spot that I liked them, so I hopped onto the interwebs and I bought a brand new OEM driver's side seatbelt. I still got to buy the buckle, but I'll buy that used. The seatbelt I bought brand new. It's the red S207 style one. It's the only one that I could find brand new, and that was like $400 that I didn't want to spend, but I kind of need a working seatbelt, at least on the driver's side for right now. The other side already has a harness installed. That one's a fixed point seat. This one has a slider on it, and the harnesses just don't move well with the slider. So when the seatbelt comes in, we'll get that put put in there. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Now I want to jump over to these little baby harnesses here. These are for the fog lights and everything like that that go to the bumper. I haven't put these on yet because I've kind of been putting it off, but one of the other things that's been kind of holding us up, and it'll make our headlights and blinkers and everything like that 100% work. So let me figure out how exactly I'm going to route these, because it's going to be a little bit different than it was before. Dope. Good to see it all work. So both of our blinkers work, both of our fog lights work, both low beams work, both switchbacks work for the C lights. And then if I come up here and I obviously turn the hazards off, we've got our normal C lights, we've got our fog lights, we've got our running lights, our low beams. Everything works for lighting, which is absolutely beautiful. The lower fog bezels down there, I have a set of JDM ones coming. I'm going to make them fit one way or another, just to be able to get those back in the car. A lot of people were saying, hey, just swap to the 2018 bumper. I really like the 15 to 17 bumpers. I think they're a little underrated. Plus, I've already got a lot of money invested into this bumper where I don't want to have to buy a new one. So really excited that all of our fog lights, hazards, everything like that works up here in the front end. Now, whenever we beat people in races, we can flip on our hazards and we're solid. So now that we've got a lot more stuff working, I am a lot happier, and the engine bay is a lot more cleaned up than what it was before. It was just a mess of wires and hoses, and it's still kind of a mess, but it's a lot better than what it was, and I don't think it's going to get much better than it is. So that's really all I got for you guys on this one. The ethanol sensor plug comes in on Saturday, as well as some other stuff for the car. I'm going to go work on the Evo tomorrow. I just got all the Banjo crush washers for the oil squirters. I need to find the oil squirters because I don't know where those are. I also got the turbo. Well, I've had these. I bought these for blue, but they don't fit because of different thread pitch. So I'm going to use these on the Evo. They're just some titanium turbo studs. So that's awesome. But that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you guys liked the video, if you're excited about blue going to the dyno here soon, hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And I know a lot of people want to see the car drive, and I know a lot of people want to see the car send it on the dyno. But like I said, there's all these small things that you have to take care of when it comes to building a car before you can just go full send. I know other people on YouTube will go full send with it. Keep in mind, I don't make nearly as much money as them, and I'm not going to blow up my car. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be one of these corners, no idea which one I'll put it in quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.